Hello and welcome to the presentation that we are here to give, and it's based on the ethnicity and diversity at the workplace, which is our subject. And we have chosen the company L'Oreal Canada, and the group members are Karen Esquerra, Karma Wangchuk, and myself, Rinto Mathew. Next slide, please. Okay, so in this report, we will be presenting an analysis of the approach of L'Oreal Canada to diversity and inclusion in a critical manner, while focusing on the strengths, industry comparisons, key findings, and the recommendations and development opportunities. L'Oreal Canada has made great steps in diversity and inclusion to meet the requirements of the Canadian Multiculturalism Act as well as the Canadian Human Rights Act, all based on equality and non-discrimination. Next slide, please. So, diversity and inclusion is what L'Oreal Canada is currently standing for. So, it is L'Oreal Canada is a subsidiary of the international beauty giant, which is L'Oreal Group, and it has been developing through innovativeness and adaptation to grow into a multinational company. It was created in 1909 by a young French chemist, and they started with hair color products, but then they spread to be a pioneer in beauty and personal care products. Next slide, please. Okay, now let us have a look at the vision and mission of L'Oreal Canada. L'Oreal Canada has a strong commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is reflected in its vision and mission statements, which emphasize the importance of creating a safe and welcoming space for all employees. The company also has a 4-point diversity, equity, and inclusion strategy that focuses on gender and LGBTQIA+, disabilities, age and generations, and socioeconomic and multicultural origins. Having a look at the inclusive culture, they have created an inclusive culture where diverse identities are appreciated and recognized. The company has implemented specific initiatives to promote diversity and inclusion, such as setting minimum inclusion targets for people with disabilities and diversifying recruitment pools. The business benefits of L'Oreal Canada's extend to its commitment to diversity and inclusion, which has also had a positive impact on its business. Diverse teams with diverse perspectives are more effective in understanding and meeting the needs of a diverse customer base, hence driving business success based on innovation. And finally, there is always scope for continuous improvement, and even though they are committed to continuous improvement in its diversity and inclusion efforts, the company is constantly evaluating its programs and initiatives to ensure that they are effective and meeting the needs of its employees and customers. Now I would like to ask Karen to continue with the slides. Thank you.
Thank you, Rinto. Okay, so for this part, we are going to analyze the critical analysis of ethnicity and diversity in the workplace at L'Oreal Canada. So I would like to start by mentioning that ethnicity and diversity are two important concepts in Canadian culture. In the Canadian Multiculturalism Act says that every individual is equal and deserves equal protection under the law, which means that in Canada people respect cultures. In addition, the Canadian Human Rights Act mentioned that anyone can be discriminated no matter who they are. So basically, both acts are looking to accept all individuals in the country and to recognize that each one has a unique contribution to make. And I would like to play this video to start understanding what diversity and inclusion means to L'Oreal Group.
We're all different. For example, Isabella, who's tall and dark-haired, doesn't look like Laura, who's petite and blonde. Generally, we're happy about our differences. On the other hand, there are differences that we experience as small, everyday humiliations. Nathan, who has to leave early to pick up his children. Tuan doesn't speak out a lot during meetings. Not because he's shy, because he's deaf. Ingrid, who's dyslexic and takes longer to write notes. Or Mike, who people say is past his prime, but who has so much to contribute. And then there are differences you can't shake. Aisha, who's Muslim and always has to voice an opinion on news about the Middle East. And all those questions in other people's eyes. Paul likes men. Priya, women. Joanna is a transgender woman, and a woman first and foremost. And all those differences you can't see, but that hurt. Ava, whose husband is violent, but she never says a word about it. Or Sid, who looks so strong, but has serious back problems. Now if we put Isabella, Tuan, Aisha, and all the others together, that's called diversity. And diversity is important to us at L'Oreal because it creates opportunities we can't afford to miss. Each of us is a combination of so many things, different cultures, identities, and backgrounds. That's why we promote equity, so that each of us, with our differences, has the right to be treated fairly in life and at work. We also choose inclusion, to take differences into account. Inclusion means enabling everyone to give their best so the company benefits from the best of everyone. It's understanding, accepting, and encouraging differences. For 20 years, L'Oreal has been formally committed to diversity and inclusion, especially with regard to disability, gender and LGBTQ+, age, and socioeconomic and multicultural origins. We are committed to fight against all forms of discrimination. We are committed to making our workplaces accessible, to trainings that help us all work together better, to eliminating the gender pay gap for people with equivalent jobs. Beyond our employees, we are committed to all our consumers and partners because we believe in inclusive beauty. Differences are a source of strength. Differences are opportunities. Supporting difference means creating excellence. Together, we create the beauty that moves the world.
So, if you notice, in this video, L'Oreal shows us how the company mindset is based on the affirmation that each individual can contribute to the company in different aspects. They are more focused on the strengths rather than the weaknesses of people. Okay, so in order to demonstrate how L'Oreal is committed with diversity, in 2015, L'Oreal Canada obtained the EDGE certification. This certification recognizes that the company do the best practices in gender policies, like equal payment for equivalent work, hiring process, promotion, leadership, mentoring, and flexible work arrangements. After that, in 2022, L'Oreal obtained the H+ certification and became the second company in L'Oreal Group with this certification. And lastly, in 2022, L'Oreal Canada reinforced its commitment with diversity when they obtained the H Move certification. In other hand, recognizing that success depends on the ability to integrate employees from diverse cultures, L'Oreal has been proactive with several programs that reflect values of diversity and multiculturalism. For example, L'Oreal Canada is involved in the 2S LGBTQ+ community. And another example is that L'Oreal Canada has an internship program called Woman in Management. And L'Oreal also has a positive programs and practices like inclusive hiring and promotion practices, employee resources, training and development programs, flexible work arrangements, and they are serious commitment to equal payment for all individuals. I would like to pass this slide to Karma.
Thank you so much, Karim. I will be presenting on key findings or strength, recommendations, and development opportunities, implication of key finding or strength. So first, I will start with key finding or strength. So number one will be the fundamental values on ethnicity and diversity. The Canadian Human Rights Act and Canadian Multiculturalism Act forbid any form of discrimination in working environment. Diversity and ethnicity are important in understanding the Canadian culture and different workplace. Number two is commitment to diversity. Laurel Canada illustrates on engaging to diversity and inclusion by identifying the contribution of everyone, by distinguishing strengths from weaknesses, and implementing effective plan on equal opportunities, and stressing on companies' commitment to inclusive hiring practices. Number three, resourceful program and practices. Laurel Canada encourages practices to incorporate employees from diverse cultures and practice inclusive hiring. Its achievement, like obtaining H certification, shows support on diverse employee needs and encourages professional development. Further, it also offers flexible working options by supporting diverse employees' needs and encouraging work-life balance. Its focus on gender equality and fairness also ensure equal and fair pay for equivalent work. Number four is community involvement. Laurel Canada support minority groups and cultivate inclusive environment by taking initiatives like Women in Business and Marketing, internship program, and partnership with two SLGBTQ plus organization. Next slide, please. Regarding the recommendation, number one is improve policies and regular assessment. In order to identify area for improvement, Laurel Canada needs to conduct regular assessment of diversity and its policies. Number two is enhance community partnership. To support diversity initiatives and enhance company's reputation, the company must build strong relationships with local communities and organizations by providing mentorship programs, scholarship, and community service projects. Number three is development and training. To make sure that all employees are well equipped to contribute for the company's goal, it must invest in comprehensive training and development programs stressing on unconscious bias, inclusive leadership, and cultural competency. Next slide, please. And so here I will be talking about development opportunities. And under development opportunities, number one is technology and innovation. By using latest technology and analytics to improve diversity and inclusion effort to keep track on diversity metrics, identifying trends, and develop targeted intervention. Number two is leadership development program. By developing program on leadership for identifying and grooming leaders from diverse background to help build a future leader to work on companies' commitment to diversity and inclusion. Next slide, please. To conclude our presentation, L'Oreal Canada, by building and maintaining this strong foundation on diversity and inclusion, L'Oreal Canada can continue to achieve as a role model of social justice and corporate moral and responsibility in the working environment where most of the company are failing in this dimension. With this practice, L'Oreal Canada can prosper in this competitive market globally and will be recognized as a role model for any starter or potential business that are trying to make name in the global market. Thank you.